Honestly, who has got the time to watch to the end of the video to find out if the project is a yay or a nay?
We totally get it. We are taking a huge risk by defying YouTube's algorithm by telling you this upfront.
But before that, please help us to like, share and subscribe. Straight to the video.
So this is the official guide price release for Canberra Crescent Residences, CCR in short. And you can look at it that the one bedroom starts from 880,000 and the PSF actually starts from 1880. So if we actually just look at it, where and when have we seen such prices for the longest time for the brand new condo launches? Just to compare apple to apple, if we look at a nearby private condo development versus a CCR, the prices are actually very comparable. The Commodore and the Water Gardens, where they have just TOP in recent years in 2024 and 2025, would you rather pay for a similar price for a brand new condo versus the resale unit that will already be 5 to 6 years old when CCR TOP? So in other words, if you have the budget of 1.7 million and you're looking for a 3-bedroom in the location, would a brand new CCR 3-bedroom be more appealing in terms of the price tag compared to the resale Commodore and the Water Gardens? Of course, probably you'll be thinking, is it fair to justify by the price?
That's my exact thoughts. That's when we should really look at the dollar per square foot for comparison, because price doesn't tell us what size the unit is, right? So if you look at the transactions in the Commodore and the Water Gardens, the dollar per square foot has actually hit as high as now 1,900 per square foot. If you look at Commodore, actually it has exceeded $1,900 per square foot. Now, in 2030, when CCR TOP and you collect your keys, you're actually collecting keys to a brand new unit instead of a property that will already be 5 to 6 years older. And if we look at Norwood Grand, it's also a brand new launch in the north in Woodlands. They have transacted, and these are already transacted, between 1,895 to 2,252 square foot. That being said, if you look at Canberra Crescent Residences, the developer has indeed priced very sensitively at 1,880 per square foot, starting from. Now, one thing to note and not to forget definitely is this thing called the GFA harmonization, which is the gross floor area. If you have a look, Canberra Crescent Residences and Norwood Grand both are under this GFA harmonization scheme, whereas the Commodore and Water Gardens, because they are launched earlier, they are not. So in a simple sense, areas such as the aircon ledge is actually included in the gross floor area for Commodore and Water Gardens. So in this case, actually, what we did was to harmonize it for Commodore and Water Gardens, exclude the aircon ledge by about 5%, and you can see the dollar per square foot has actually gone above 2,000 per square foot for the Commodore. So now, the question is this: would you then want to be buying something at a lower per square foot, brand new, or if you were buying a resale at a similar dollar per square foot?
You have heard that CCR is probably the most affordable project this year. Why is it so? Because CCR prices are comparable to EC prices. Let's take a look at the current and the upcoming EC launches. Okay, we have Aurel of Tampines and Autoplace, which is just launched this year. Looking at their PSF range, they have already transacted starting from about 1,588 PSF up to about 1,882 PSF. So now we can notice that the buyers can accept such prices even for EC. And upcoming, we have another 2 ECs that will be launching in 2026, and our guesstimates for their price ranging from 1,007, 1,650 PSF to about 19 XX PSF. So does a CCR price tag looks like EC but without EC eligibility restrictions? Would this be attractive to buyers who are unable to meet the EC criteria?
Yes, we definitely think so. What are the restrictions for EC and how does it affect the buyers? Other than having to be able to form a family nucleus, you also have to fulfill 5 years MOP only upon the TOP of the EC. Now, earlier we actually shared that if you have a budget of $1.7 million, let's do a comparison in the total outlay as well required for the private condo and a brand new EC. So if you look at the brand new EC, there is actually a $16,000 income ceiling, assuming they can get a full 30 years loan tenor, The maximum loan eligible is only $1 million. With the booking fee, the down payment, stamp duty and legal fee, all in all, the total outlay required in cash and CPF would be close to $760,000. If we look at a brand new condo, similarly at a $1.7 million purchase price, because the loan is on a TDSR basis, you can get a higher loan of $1.275 million. With that, your financial outlay actually is about $490,000. Now, if you look at it, the difference is of about $280K in terms of the outlay for EC compared to a brand new condo. On top of that, if you are a second timer, there's actually a resale levy that you have to pay.
So one of the key features for CCR is their low density. For a project of similar height in the vicinity, CCR has the lowest density with over 70% of the site area dedicated to the greenery and the facilities. Let's summarize if this project CCR is a yay or a meh. Okay, firstly, the location. For this location, it may not suit all buyers, but potentially only for people who are familiar in this location or they want to stay near their families. Okay, secondly, it's 800 meters to Canberra MRT. It may feel pretty okay for some people, but 800 meters walk in this hot sunny Singapore may not appeal to some people, but the good thing is developer will be providing a 1-year free shuttle service to the MRT, but thereafter it depends on the residents whether if they want to continue with this shuttle service or not. Okay. Thirdly, CCR is not an EC, hence there is no deferred payment scheme and there is no CPF housing grant. So for buyers who are currently holding on to a property, they will need to sell and then find an interim housing while waiting for CCR, or otherwise you just have to pay for the ABSD. Lastly, it will be the competitions from the ECs and the condos nearby. So just right beside CCR, we have the two ECs, which is Provence and Park Canberra. So buyers who bought into these ECs, their entry price recently is about 1,003 to 1,004 PSF. And they're also going to MOP in 2029 to 2030, which is very similar to CCR, which will be TOP over in 2030 as well.
After hearing the May, let's look at the yay, because I think there are good points about this project that we should look at. Now, firstly, definitely is the most affordable new launch pricing in today's market. Cannot find anything at such entry price anymore. 1.11 for 2-bedroom, that's a one bedder in other places. Now, next is the EC pricing. It is very close to the EC pricing, and as you have seen from our financial outlay, you are buying at the same price yet paying a lower amount. You have come out with a lesser cash and CPF upfront. Thirdly, you are also not subjected to EC eligibility criteria and having to hold for 5 years. Now, 5 years is after TOP, so all in all, I would say it's about 8 to maybe 9, 10 years just to sell this EC. So with a private condo that's at such similar pricing to EC, why not, right? And lastly, is definitely the low density where you have a lot of space actually catered to the facilities and the greeneries in the development. So the show floor is already open for preview, and if you are keen to have a look, please contact either Christine or myself, Vera, and we will be happy to show you.
If you're still here and still keen to find out more about Canberra Crescent Residences, let's touch on the facts. So this project is jointly developed by King Leong and Loh King Huat. So just to name a few of the projects that they have done, which includes the Minton, the Water Gardens at Canberra, Mayor House, and the Nassim. It's located at District 27. This is a 99-year leasehold property. The land size is about 20,000 square meter, and the plot ratio is at 1.6. It has about 376 units at a 12-story high. Okay, and the car park lots is 1-to-1, and the expected TOP is around 2030. Let's take a look at the unit type. CCR offers a 1-bedroom all the way to 4-bedroom unit type over here. So 3-bedroom stands at a higher percentage of 52.66%, while our 2-bedroom and 4-bedroom stands at about like 24% to 22% allocation.
So if you take a closer look, there's actually only 3 one-bedroom units. So if you're targeting a one-bedroom unit, you must be very, very, very lucky. Now, because this area is more catered to family profile, I think that's why the developer has actually skewed the unit types more towards the 3 and the 4-bedroom type. There's almost about 75% of them. And if you look at our past video where we'll talk about Promenade Peak versus River Green, you will notice that most of the unit types are skewed towards the smaller unit. So that's the difference. Moving on to the site plan, at one glance, what we notice actually is how the blocks are actually spread out. You don't really see units to units being overlapped. Okay, maybe right at the corner, maybe you say stack 6 and stack 10, they may be able to see each other slightly. But other than that, I think the developer has actually planned this layout quite well. Secondly, because it is more towards family profile, one thing you'll notice is that in the social zone, there's actually a childcare center. Other than that, they actually have many function room, entertainment room, family pool, kids, even a kids zone especially for the kids. And on block 55 and 57, there are actually sky gardens. So it is spanning across these 2 blocks, and you will get your spa pool, your yoga deck. There is also a pavilion where you can actually hold your functions. So very, very family oriented. And if you look at the construction method, the developer is actually using this method called the APCS, which is the Advanced Precast Concrete System. Now, what's the difference between this and the previous, more commonly used prefabricated, pre-finished volumetric construction, which is the PPVC that mostly we know as, is that APCS actually offers more flexibility. Now, I'm not going to go into detail, but let's just have a look at the floor plan to understand better. If you want flexibility, you want to knock down walls, PPVC has very limited options. But if you look at this APCS, you can see for the 2-bedroom, okay, it's a dumbbell layout. The walls between the living and the bedrooms, either the master or the bedroom 2, can be knocked down to create a larger room if you want. Same for the 3-bedroom layout, there are multiple walls in between which you can choose. Maybe combine your master and a bedroom 2 for a walk-in wardrobe, or you want to take out your bedroom 3 and have a larger living area. So very, very flexible. Similarly for the 4-bedroom layout also. So that's the advantage of this APCS system, which the nearby developments may not actually offer.
So if you'd like to dive deeper into the floor plans, the unit layouts, and the in-depth analysis of what Canberra Crescent has to offer,
feel free to reach out to us directly, and we will be happy to walk you through the details and help you make an informed decision.
So please help us to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you won't miss our latest updates on the new launches across Singapore.
Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.